about why your goals for next year are a dead end, why they're leading you nowhere, why I already know that you are setting yourself up to be disappointed and disillusioned, and why it is likely you'll be sitting here this time next year feeling exactly the way you are feeling right now. I know this to be true because in order for us to activate more for ourselves, we have to be willing to listen to articulate, and to move within our own truth. And what I know to be true is that most women will not do that, because our truth, it will shake us to our core. Our truth will terrify us. When we admit our own truth and we see the ways that we actually would need to make completely different decisions for ourselves, when we see the ways that we need to cut off not only certain people and places and things, but certain thought forms that need to die, it terrifies us. And Source is already whispering to us. I know you hear the whispers, but here's what happens for a lot of people. Source communicates to us that it is time to move, it is time to change, that what we are experiencing isn't intended for us. And it communicates this to us through depression, through frustration, through anger, through boredom, through disconnection, through illness. But we interpret these sensations, these feelings, these ways of being as the reason why we can't have more, the reason why we can't activate our truth, instead of understanding that this is actually the reason why we must. I know that I show up here into this space as a complex confusion to you. And that is probably perfect. I'm a hard person to get. I'm not somebody that you can just understand. My story, my way of being, it's not easy to digest. It's confusing. That's the feedback I get anyway. But I understand now. I'm positioned to be a confusion in your life, because confusion is what encourages us to pause. When we're confused by something, it makes us slow down and think about, what is it that I'm supposed to be understanding? What is it that I'm not understanding? And in life, whenever we feel confused, it is a gift, it is an offering to show us that a pause would be powerful. I'm a quantum leap in motion. I show up as living proof for you of how quickly things can change. If you know me well, or you're just getting to know me now, the last 5 years of my life are a powerful living example of how possible quantum leaps are for all of us. How did I go from being a woman crippled with guilt and anxiety about the string of affairs she was having within the sexless marriage she found herself in, to now being with a man who is the overflow of the love and connection and desire and passion that I had prayed for in my life? How did I turn that around so quickly? How did I go from a woman that was prioritizing all the material things and overworking herself in businesses that provided material success? I had the things, I was doing the travel, I had the homes and the cars and the status and the title and all of that. And how did I go from being that kind of woman to being the woman that bows with gratitude at the feet of the humble existence that she gets to give thanks for every day? A life that is so meaningful, a life that isn't the constant pursuit of more. In 2024, I'm going to be mortgage free. The financial freedom and abundance that I had prayed for is available to me in this life now. And only a few years ago, it felt like there was never going to be enough. Now I can see it, I can taste it, the freedom and the security that I desire, it is there. It has happened within the space of years. And what I activated for myself happened in moments. How did I know what to do? How did I make this happen? It has been a reflection of my own connection to my own divinity and my own connection to source. And I had to sharpen my intuition. I had to understand what prayer was. I had to listen for the guidance. And I had to prepare myself to be ready to move. This is a story of trust. This is a story of surrender. What Source had prepared for me did not come easy. I was required to move through the fire of transformation in such a big way. But I was ready to move. And when I was told to move, it was the connection that I had to Source, to the universe, to God, to the belief of the love that transcends fear that allowed me to move. Source said to me, move, fly across the world. I left New Zealand never to return again. Source said to me, burn every bridge. I broke down relationships. I sold everything that I owned. Source said to me, stop lying. I stopped. I started speaking the truth, and it was devastating. Often, when we speak the truth of what it is we have done, what it is that we see, what it is that we want, we feel as if we are relinquishing control. And in the moment that you do that, in the moment that you just release everything that was never intended for you, it feels like you are going to collapse. It feels like you are deflating. And in that moment, that is when Source enters you. That is when Spirit enters you. That is when you feel the courage, the conviction, the energy to be moved. And you move, you go. And Source tells you, do it now. And it is so hard, and it shakes you, and it requires you to step up and in to a way of being and an existence that doesn't feel safe. There is no clear path. And so you want to turn around and run back to what you know, and then you remember Source had you burn every bridge. And you see every mistake that you had ever made as the divine guidance you needed to make sure that there was no way back. And so the only way is forward into the prayers, forward into the manifestations you have set in motion, and you move. You keep moving. And as you do, as you honor the devotion to understanding your purpose and understanding the ways that you are being guided and moved, the path begins to reveal itself. And you see things in a way that you have never seen them before because you have changed, because you have transformed. We see the world in the way that reflects who we are. And so if we do not like what we are experiencing, what is available to us, then we must change within ourselves. The change occurs, the revolution occurs within us. Often, when we are being moved, it occurs when we are lying on the floor with tears streaming down our face and our fists clenched and our chests heaving as we release the thought forms that have been embedded in us by a frightened world that is also frightening. And the revolution occurs internally and nobody would notice, but you are changed. And so the world is changed for you. And you remember love, and you remember trust, and you remember to have faith in the ways that you have been moved and guided. You remember that there is a unique energetic expression that moves to you, through you, as you. And you see the ways that you can breathe life into what you are here to teach, to transmute, to share, to activate, to connect as a mother, as a wife, as a partner, as a friend, as a daughter, as a teacher, as a warrior, as a visionary, You remember the necessity of who you are when you let go of everything that you think you are supposed to be. From that place, resurrected within the empowerment of remembering that we are a fractal of all that we are experiencing, and that we are a necessary part of this whole experience. And that life, source, divinity is constantly communicating within us. And that we need to fine-tune our ability to realize that everything that we are given and gifted is presented to us as an opportunity to see the things that are not working, to refine our connection with our soul's purpose, to gain confidence in speaking our truth and listening for the truth and feeling the truth in the way that only we can receive and transmute it. This is the way that our goals should be set. Our goals should be set around creating the experiences or the things that would allow us to witness us in our own power. That would allow us to witness the way that we can speak something and make it happen and have it make impact. So that we can believe for something bigger. So that we can believe for something bigger. Let your goals be a reflection of what you need to experience, coming to you, through you, as you. And remember, it is not the goal that will provide for you the fulfillment and the meaning and the love and the connection that you are desiring. What you will achieve, what you will produce, what you will be capable of bringing forward based on the goal you set is just a reflection of your prayers being answered, of your intentions being a reflection of source, of divinity, showing you the power that you have to use your visions, your sensations, your emotions, your feelings, to create thought forms, and to breathe life into this world that needs us to be breathing life in a way that is life affirming. This forms a big part of the coaching that I do. The visual that I have is that as a coach, I stand beside you with my hand on your back, and I will never push you. But I stand with my faith and my trust and my conviction and my belief in your necessity, and I hold you firm so that you may look at the parts of yourself that you are not comfortable with looking at. In order for us to become who we are supposed to be, we must be willing to look at ourselves right now. Even the parts of us, and probably especially the parts of us that we don't like, that we are less than satisfied with. And so I will support you in getting to those rock bottom essential truth moments where you actively call forward the things that need to be excavated and released from you. And often it feels like we are doing daily exorcisms of the fear-based thoughts that lurk within us. Not so we can be free of fear, but so that we have space within us for guidance to transcend the limiting beliefs that we might have been led by. So that we can have guidance and insights and intuition and gut feelings and excitement and anticipation and desire lead the way for us. I find it hard to communicate what comes through me as me for you. And so I'm asking now for you to see this as the necessary sign that you needed to be moved in a different way. If what you have been doing, if your way of existence is not working for you, because you feel like you're in a constant cycle that keeps repeating with the same emotions, the same thoughts, the same outcomes, or you're creating goals for yourself next year that you don't even feel fully connected to, and all you know is that you need something to be different, that you desire change, that something has to shift and move so that you can actually be moving purposefully and powerfully through your life, this is the coaching that is meant for you. And I will help you with the nuts and bolts and the strategy and the systems that will, be intelligent action in motion. But I will also make sure that you realize and you remember that you are worthy of being moved, of finding the courage and the conviction and the certainty to do the things that right now might seem unthinkable, unimaginable. That courage, that conviction, that certainty, that guidance doesn't come from a book, doesn't come from a podcast, doesn't come from a course, doesn't come from a conversation, certainly doesn't come from the advice of people around you. It comes from connection with Source, your own divinity, however you experience that. And I would love to hold space for you to just get curious about what that might look like, feel like, sound like for you, and where you might be moved if you invite more of that into your life. Okay, I have 3 coaching packages available for next year. One is a 12-month package, one is a 12-week package, and one is a 6-week little fire starter package. I'm going to put a link. It will be in my bio or underneath this video, depending where I share it. That will have some more information for you to logically look at and understand and take on for yourself. But I'm asking you to make this decision from the part of you that knows. And if there's a part of you that knows, we need to have a conversation about what it might look like for me to support you next year. I invite you now to just reach out. Send me a message. Let's have a conversation.